Greetings and welcome to Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle 1 year later, the video where I'm going to go over the game again from a now veteran player's perspective, although still a free-to-play player, and I'm going to talk about all the events that have happened, the changes that have happened to the game, if I still think it is fair to new players and to free-to-play players, and so on and so forth. So, let's get to it. Now, when speaking about games like this that are called gacha games, aka you click on something and then you hope you get whatever you want to get, the collection aspect and the acquiring of the character you want to get aspect is probably the most important to most players, like it is to me. Now, to some people that means getting the most powerful characters in the game, and to others like me it means getting the characters we actually want. Now, until recently I had not gotten the one card that I absolutely wanted to get, which was Gogeta, which you can see right there. But I had gotten various cards that I enjoyed playing with, such as Future Gohan over there on the third row, and I've gotten very many other characters that I have actually used many times in the past, and they have been useful to me even now. Now, this is mostly because until Gogeta was released, I was saving up pretty much every single, well, almost every stone I was given in order to save up for his banner. Now, when his banner did come along, I wasted almost 800 stones and still didn't get him. But unfortunately, that is the nature of what a gacha game is. Now, I didn't lose despair and kept playing because I saw what Japan was getting at the time, and I was like, that is something I want to participate in. Now, a couple months ago, or maybe only 1 month ago, I finally got Gogeta during another summon event. So in that sense, I have gotten almost everything I wanted to get. Now, there's only one character that I have not gotten so far, and that is Towa. She has still eluded me, but in that sense, I've gotten every character I wanted to get. Now, currently, these are most of the characters I want. However, in the future, there's going to be more characters that I want. And so when it comes to collection aspects as a free-to-play player, you need to tell yourself, do I want these characters because they're the powerful ones? Or do I want the characters I actually want because they're my favorite characters? And that is where you have to make a decision for yourself. Do you use your Dragon Stones now on the multi-summon to try and get one of the God Leaders that I have none of? Or do you save up to get the characters you actually want and that'll make your soul happy? That is really up to you. So in that sense, it's all luck reliant. You can get the character you want and maybe the most powerful character in the game at the moment from a single summon, or you can waste 800 stones and not get the character you wanted at all. So in that sense, luck is still a major factor. Now, the other main part of this game are the events. Now, so far, there have only been 2 events that I have not been able to beat myself. Let's see, if I can recall correctly, they are the... I have not tried Goku Black's event right now, mostly because you only get medals for the physical one that I have not tried to get and don't have. And Majin Buu Gohan's Absorb Dokkan event, I also did not participate in that one because those are medals for Buu. And I believe at the time I was doing something else, I can't remember what it was. So I didn't participate in that one either. Now, aside from those 2 events, oh, and Omega Shenron, you also get medals for him. I also did not participate in that one as well. So aside from those 3 events, I have been able to beat every event that the game has been able to throw at me, although not immediately though. It wasn't until I finally got Gogeta that I was finally able to beat most of the more difficult events. Specifically, Full Power Frieza eluded me for a long time because I just did not have cards powerful enough, because at the moment I was still saving up for Gogeta. Now that I have him, he proved a lot easier to me, especially because I finally have somebody that deals a lot of damage. And outside of that, we also have the strike events that I have been able to beat every single Super Strike event to date by a mixture of overpowered friends and a decent team composition. And then there's the rebirths and all the other normal events at the time. Now, being a free-to-play player, this means a lot because it means that the game is actually properly balanced towards making sure that even if you don't have the most powerful cards in the games, you have a chance to beat every event. Now, I do not know how difficult some of the events that are coming up in, especially the Super Saiyan 4 events that were just released in Japan. Those events look a little insane to me at the moment because we're talking 3 fights in a row with 4, 5, and 7 life bars each, and I just can't fathom dealing that much damage and surviving that much damage. However, we will not know until we get there. So in terms of events, it's been, to me it feels challenging, very challenging, but actually fair in its balance. So aside from that, is there something that we're missing in terms of events that we really want or that we deserve? Now we finally got the hidden potential system, which I'll talk about later. So we're very happy about that. There was also the change to the World Tournament that to include local rankings. A lot of us are very happy about that as well. And those are really the big major changes that have happened to the game. So ever since it's released, it's still pretty much the same game. You have a stamina bar, you waste it to do whatever it is you want to do, and you hope to make your character stronger so you can beat the events that get harder and harder as the game goes along. Now, speaking of the World Tournament, unfortunately there's not... Now, like I was saying, they added what was called local rankings to the World Tournament, which is, again, great. Because it means that you're no longer competing against hundreds of thousands of millions of players around the world for 1,000 to 10,000 spots to get the character of that tournament. Now we have, if you go into rankings, what is called local rankings. Now in local rankings, you also get... Oh, look at me, I was placed 36 in the last local ranking. That's nice for me. So anyway, as you can see here in rewards, the local rankings award you with a Piccolo that turns into one of the legendary rare cards, some medals to awaken him, and some other characters in the future, Dragonstones and everything else. However, as you can see, local ranking only gives out rewards for the first 100 players. Now, you are put in a pool of between 300 and 400 players, and those are the only people you will ever face off against. I'm not really sure how the pool is decided, but this was great to me because I am decently good at the game. I know that I have Gogeta. I can pretty much wipe out almost every other character in a turn, but I cannot compete with the people that throw stone after stone after stone to refill their stamina over and over again, day after day, to reach the global rankings to get some of the more rare cards and other kinds and all that other stuff. This is one of the problems the game still has, in that the richer still get richer, and the poor have to struggle very, very, very hard to even get close to getting the rewards they may get for throwing a lot of money at the game. So in that sense, it's still a rich man's game in order to win the World Tournament globally. However, on the local aspect, you have a lot greater chance to get some actually very nice things like Dragonstones, cash, and all the other stuff. So now with that out of the way, let's go through the changes that have been happening to the game that are all very, very welcome. Now, the first is the Facebook linking, as you can see right there. This took like a year before it could arrive, but this means that you can no longer use your account, supposedly, because you link it to your Facebook, and the only way to download the account onto a new device is to log into your Facebook account, and so on and so forth. This was very much needed since the beginning of the game, because people like me that showed most of their account information, even though I don't actually show it, were having their accounts stolen because people will contact Bandai. They would show the exact number of Zenny, Dragonstones, rank, and all the other stuff that was displayed up top, and would claim the account was theirs, and Bandai would give it to them, and then they would steal their account and sell it off, and so on and so forth. So being able to look into your Facebook account added a layer of security, which we desperately needed. But some people still lost their accounts, but it's finally here, so that's a good thing. Now, I did mention the hidden potential system. We've been waiting a long time for this thing because after you got a character through Super Attack 10, there was really very little you could do other than if you got more duplicates of that character. However, now that we have this whole mess of a thing right here. Now, as you can see, this lets you boost your characters at least ultra rare ones or higher, even further into the obscene range. What I mean by this is that you can... you start here in the center. This is very much like the Final Fantasy X sphere grid, only a little bit more difficult, in that you go unlocking nodes as you go, and these special nodes grant you special powers that you can see at the top of the screen. You have everything from combo attack, which means you have a chance for an additional attack, which can be a super attack. I've actually gotten that to proc 1 so far. You have a critical, which increases the damage or makes it into... It basically makes your character hit like Gogeta, so it ignores defense against all types. You have a chance to evade. This skill does not work on passive skills or certain other abilities. So anyway, this can allow you to completely ignore an attack and stuff like that. And then we've got other minors like more damage, heal more when you pick up other orbs of your same color, and so on and so forth. So this adds a layer of customization to our favorite characters that really makes the game a lot more compelling, because you can actually empower your favorite characters more and more and make them truly your best characters in your collection. Obviously, this is limited to only some of the rarest characters in the game, aka ultra rare or higher, but it's definitely something we've been wanting for a long time. And really, that is most of the big changes that have happened to the game. Now, something I have noticed is that every month or so, there is a login campaign that usually gives us between 10 to 20 something stones here on Global. This means that even if you don't spend a single dollar on the game, you will eventually have a lot of stones saved up to summon or attempt to summon your favorite character. This is nice because, according to people on the internet, Japan gets more stones from login bonuses and so on and so forth. However, being free to play myself, I am never wanting for stones more than I've already had so far. Like right now, I have over 600, even though I'm not showing you, and I just did 4 multi-summons on the Fusions banner, so yeah. If you save up and you're patient, you can definitely save up enough stones, so you need to be a little patient there. So yeah, 1 year later, I am still enjoying this game for what it is. I have not spent any money on it, and I feel like I can challenge most events if I'm a little patient and wait for people to build teams around them and figure out the tricks and so on and so forth. So if you start playing right now, you will probably have a bit of a hard time to do some of the events, especially if you get some of the what people are calling God cards in your free multi-summon, and you're like, now how do I make this the best card in the game? Well, you're gonna have to level them up a lot first, and so on and so forth. So yeah, 1 year later, the game is still very decent, and you still need a lot of patience, but it's still definitely a good game. One of what I think is better out there. I have tried a lot of games that are gacha based, and I'm not sure I've seen personally a game that is more fair with giving out some of the rare characters to people that don't pay money, but that's just my personal experience. Your experience may vary. I have heard horror stories of people going 6 months without pulling a super rare from a multi-summon, and that is absolutely disheartening. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time for more of whatever shows up on this channel, probably more something. So anyway, later.